So in today's tutorial, I'm gonna share my secret and proven formula of retargeting the visitors of your e-commerce store. And this is the simplest and the greatest way to make money and make your campaigns more profitable. Hello social media marketers and welcome back again to my channel. Before we discuss the topic of this tutorial, let me quickly recap the last tutorial of this expert level Facebook and Instagram marketing course. So in the last tutorial, we learned how to prepare your Facebook Ads Manager account for the iOS 14.5 update, as it's very important to have ready your Facebook Ads Manager account, especially when it comes to the iOS 14.5 update, which has a huge impact on the performance and on the results of your Facebook or Instagram ads. So if you have not yet watched that tutorial, be sure to click on this link and watch the tutorial right now so that you have your Ads Manager account ready before you run any campaign within your Facebook Ads Manager account. So in today's tutorial, I'm gonna share my secret and proven formula of retargeting the visitors of your e-commerce store. And this is the simplest and the greatest way to make money and make your campaigns more profitable. So the key thing to keep in mind here is that we're gonna segment the visitors of your e-commerce store. So for example, it's gonna be more profitable and easier to sell your product to someone who visited your store in the last 3 days than someone who visited your e-commerce store in the last 14 days or 28 days. So we're gonna segment the visitors of your e-commerce store. So for example, we create a list of the people who visited the store in the last 3 days, and then we're gonna create another list of the people who visited the store in the last 14 days, and the third list is gonna be of the people who visited the store in the last 28 days. So this way you will be able to segment the visitors of your e-commerce store, and this way you can create specialized ad copies, ad creatives based on the recency the people visit your e-commerce store. So for example, for people who visited your e-commerce store in the last 3 days, you may have a different ad copy, ad creatives, okay? And the people who visited your e-commerce store in the last 14 days, you may have a different ad copy and ad creatives, and even maybe different offer, just to get them back to your e-commerce store and to try to sell them your products. So this is gonna be a great tutorial and great fun, and I will show you the exact step-by-step process that I follow myself for my agency clients, and based on my experience, this is gonna be a great audience segmentation, and it has been very profitable for me. So I would recommend to follow the exact step-by-step process, which I will show you in the Facebook audience manager in a moment. So let's get into my screen, but before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so that you get notified instantly for every new tutorial that we will be uploading over the course of next few days. And if you enjoy this tutorial, be sure to give it a thumbs up as well, so as to support this tutorial and help more and more people watch this tutorial on the platform. So it's time to get into my screen. Okay guys, so once you're on your Facebook Ads Manager, you simply need to click on these three lines on the left side of your screen to open all the tools, and then you will see a tab which says the audiences, and you will need to click on the audiences tab. So it's to enter the audience manager and create different lists of the people who visited your store, who have been engaged with your Facebook page, with your Instagram page, or even the people you who have watched your videos on Facebook or Instagram or even any ad. So on the left side, you can say it says, create audience. And when you click on this drop down menu, you will see the custom audience, the lookalike audience, and the special aid audience, and the saved audience, category. So we simply need to click on the custom audience, okay? And then you will see a pop-up of different sources. So for example, you can make custom audiences based off the website visitor, the app activity, and you can upload the customer list, which I will teach you one by one. But in today's tutorial, we simply going with the website visitors, and as you can see, you can actually make a custom audience of the people who have watched one of your videos, lead form, instant experience, shopping, and people who have been engaged within your Instagram accounts, with your Facebook page, on Facebook listings. Okay, so you simply need to click on the website, and we're gonna click next, and then it's gonna pop up the the details to be entered in order to create this custom list. So the first thing, there is a warning which is actually after the iOS 14.5 update, and it says the size of your website custom audience may decrease because it may not include some people using the iOS 14.5 or later devices. Using it as a lookalike audience source will not affect your lookalikes size. So you simply ignore this warning. And if you have watched my last tutorial about the iOS 14.5 update, you will understand what is it. So the next thing, it says include people who meet any of the following criteria. You can actually switch between these. I would recommend to always keep this at any. Okay, this is gonna it will provide you the Facebook more flexibility to create the audiences. And then you will see the pixel source. So my pixel, in my case, the pixel is clicked there, which is my pixel source. And then you will see the events. So under this drop down menu, you can actually select lots of other events like the purchases, the add to cart, the events, but we will go with the people who visited specific web pages. And you can also create lists of the people who spent most of the time on specific web pages. So in our case, we are going with people who visited specific web pages. And then you see the retention window. Like I discussed in the start of this tutorial, the shorter the window is gonna be, the more profitable for you. Actually, we will create 3 lists of the people who visited our store in the last 3 days, in the last 14 days, and in the last 28 days. And this way, we're going to segment these visitors. So the people who visited my store in the last 3 days, okay? And then you will see the URL parameters. Under this drop down menu, you have a few options. Equals mean the Facebook will pick only those visitors who visited a specific URL. So for example, your store.com/products and then /t-shirt. So the Facebook will just simply follow that URL, okay? And contains means if you provide some words. So for example, you may say to pick any URL that contains t-shirts, okay? Then Facebook is gonna pick all of those people who visited any URL on your store that includes the word t-shirt, okay? So you should be careful with this option. And you can also set up it is doesn't contain, you can actually exclude few words. So for example, if you check mark this option, then you tell Facebook to exclude all of those URLs which contains the word t-shirts. Okay, then Facebook will exclude all of those URL from your audience that includes the word t-shirt. Okay, so let me just simply reselect the contains word, and in my case I'm going to retarget all of the people who visited my any product on my store. So in my case it's gonna be the shop, and for other stores it may be slash than products. Okay, so actually it varies from website to website and depends on how you have set up the URL parameters of your website. So in my case it's gonna be slash shop. So it means Facebook will pick any person who have visited my shop on my store, and you can actually refine this audience more if you click on and also then you can actually add other words as well. So I would not recommend that because we're not going to narrow down my audience further. So you can actually further refine this based on the frequency and the device user. So in my case I'm going to leave all of them as default, and one thing, to provide the audience name 3 days visitors and the date. Okay, sorry, it's gonna be the date, and you can actually provide the description as well. Okay, but this is optional, and then you simply need to create the audience. So after that Facebook wants you to do other stuff as well. Actually Facebook says to create a lookalike audience of this audience that we created a moment ago. You can actually create an ad based off that audience as well, create another custom audience. So we simply need to click on done so as to show you the audience that we actually created right now. So this is actually the audience that we created, which says 3 days visitors and the date, and as you can see it's the custom audience, and the size it's still populating. Okay, Facebook says your audience size will be available up to 2-3 days after its creation. Okay, so now we have created the people, the custom audience of the people who visited our store in the last 3 days, and now we are going to create another audience who visited our store in the last 14 days. Okay, so you will follow the same process, simply you will need to change the retention window to 14 days. Okay, and then again you will provide this audience a name, 14 days visitors, and then you provide the date and you're done. Okay, it says an unknown error. Let me just take a look at the errors. So we are done. We actually created the two audiences, and then the same way you will create the third audience, which will be based on the people who visited the store in the last 28 days. So this is how you can actually create the audience lists. Okay, and in the next tutorial I'm gonna teach you how you can set up the campaign based off these custom audiences, how you can write the compelling ad copy, and how should be your ad creatives for these different segments of the audience who visited our e-commerce store. So I hope this has been a super helpful tutorial, and in the next tutorials I will also explore the lookalike audiences, the special ad audiences, and the saved audience as well. So you are done. This is how simply you can create lists of the visitors of your e-commerce store, and then you create the campaigns, you create the ad copies, the ad creatives, and maybe different offerings just to get them, converted. So just simply open your Facebook Ads Manager, click on the audience manager tool, and then you will find a lot of other tabs like the video viewers, the Facebook page engagement, the Instagram engagement, the video viewers. So you simply would go to the website tab just to retarget the people visited or your e-commerce store. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can actually create the campaign to retarget these different lists of the visitors of your e-commerce store, and I will show you the exact step-by-step process on how you can actually create the ad campaign, the ad copies, and I will also show you some, I will share some great tips and tricks about the 8 copies, 8 creatives that has been very profitable for me, and that which you can actually simply copy and use within your Facebook or Instagram marketing. So before we end the tutorial, one thing again, be sure to give it a thumbs up so as to support this tutorial, and if you have got any question, be sure to add your comment in the comment section. I will be very happy to answer your question as quickly as possible. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.